I'm not talking about statistics, I'm talking about reality. Hans Rosling. Global data is loaded with terms you might not even have heard of. What differs undernourishment from malnutrition, from moderate to severe food insecurity, childhood stunting, and childhood wasting? And what does it matter? This shows the share of people who are undernourished. More than 20% of the population in sub-Saharan Africa suffer from this thing called undernourishment. 16% of the world's population lives in sub-Saharan Africa. That's about 1 billion people. 20% of them are undernourished, about 200 million people. In reality, what does this mean? I'll get back to that in about 3 minutes. Okay, so zoom in. Undernourishment is defined as a daily food intake not providing enough energy to maintain a normal, active, healthy lifestyle. Zoom out. Not to confuse with malnutrition, including both over and undereating and malfunctioning nutrition. That is statistics. Here's more. This could be whatever world map you've ever seen. But it shows the share of a population with moderate or severe food insecurity. Why are some areas striped? Because there's no data from these nations. Move over to Asia, for example, counting almost 3 billion people, or a third of all the people on the globe, and you see the problem with a striped country. We don't even know the magnitude of food insecurity here. Does it matter? Moderate food insecurity means that you're unable to regularly eat a balanced, nutritious, or even healthy diet. That can result in stunting and wasting. That is when your child is shorter than the average for their age as a consequence of poor nutrition or repeated infections. This is a map illustrating this problem. Again, there's large areas where we don't even know how many children and families this affects. Childhood wasting is, on the other hand, when a child's weight is significantly lower than the average for their height, often out of acute food shortage or disease. That's it. All the terms set. Numbers and data making up a healthy palette of statistics. Except we're not talking about statistics. We're talking about reality. 200 million people is not a number. Humans, that is. Boys and girls, women and men. The term undernourishment might not be that important, but for a specific human somewhere, it's quite important that the aid is not aimed at hunger not otherwise specified. The suffering is very specific and personal. I get an idea of this from novels such as Svält, Starvation by Knut Hamsun, or Pearless Bucks, The Good Earth, or from John Green's novelish book, Everything is Tuberculosis. The specificity of suffering is why I think this term matters in the world. I end with an open question. Will an unspecified problem on what there's no data get an attention from the world leaders matching the very specific suffering from an entire family when one of its members are shorter than their classmates as they're suffering from severe food insecurity? Instead of naming the world's problem chaos, we should be careful and name things for what they are. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. Bye.